All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, January 4th. We got two games on today's NBA slate. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games, so all two of them, give you my lean on the spread, give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about the game, any player props or other plays we like in the game. But as always, all of my final plays, so what I'm actually rolling with myself. If you do want to fade my picks and do the opposite, those plays are going to be in the pinned comment. Last night, another fadeable night. We go 2-4. One of the losses being the under in the Bucks Pacers. Dumb pick, but that was a half unit loss, but still 2-4 for 2-4 for all intents and purposes there. And we've just been so streaky. We go 3-1 to 2-0 to 3-2 to 0-2. 3-4, 2-4. It's like we're either swinging for the fences in terms of throwing a haymaker of a profitable night, or taking a huge punch on the chin in terms of a losing night. Super inconsistent here. We'll see how the chips fall. Obviously, I guess that's just sports betting, right? And that's the game that we're in, the nature of the beast. I know people are gonna hate you when you lose and love you when you win. It's just what it is. But man, the inconsistency is driving me nuts, which it is what it is. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But guys, in terms of some good news from last night, Davey Navy cashing the ride of the day here. He had Tyler Hero over 5.5 rebounds. Tyler Hero finished with 6 rebounds. Pumping some applause and crowd noise. We need some good vibes in the room now. Tyler Hero cashes, and that was for plus money as well. So shout out to Davey Navy. If you guys do want a chance to be the ride of the day, all you got to use is that hashtag ride of the day in the comments. Give me an absolute banger of a pick. I'm glad we got back on the win train with the ride of the day, because we had a few in a row of the ride of the days not coming through. But yeah, explain why you like it, convince me, and you might just be shouted out in the next video, win or loss. I'm also posting it on my Twitter/X and following everyone back again today. So make sure to follow me there at EvGuyBoston. If I didn't follow you yesterday or whatnot, just tweet at me being like, hey, you said you'd follow me back, and I'll follow you back, because I may have missed some might have slipped through the cracks. So yeah, go follow me there. But guys, let's go ahead and jump into today's slate here. Starting off with a game in which I don't necessarily love. Definitely like the second game of this slate a little bit more, but we got the Spurs taking on the Bucks. Right now, Spurs at home sitting at 9.5-point dogs. The Bucks coming in after a loss against the Pacers last night. Again, we had the Bucks -2.5 and then the under in that game. Did either of them even come close to hitting? No. So that's tough. The total here is sitting at 249.5. So I do think Milwaukee if everyone plays, because it is a back-to-back, I do think Milwaukee gets the job done. This Spurs team is obviously like fadeable. They have been fadeable. They've won 1 game in their last 9 games, 2 games in the last 10. Against the spread, they're not looking all that great either. And they're not covering back-to-back games. So they did cover against Memphis a couple nights ago, right? They've had a couple nights off, and I don't expect them to cover here. The one thing I will say is it is a lot of points for a Milwaukee team that seems like they may not be playing the most consistent basketball. Just 2 and 3 against the spread in their last 5 here. They were on a roll while they played some bad teams, but this one's a little weary, and they didn't cover the number last time they played the Spurs. Now, it was a huge number, 16.5, right? They win 132 to 119, so it's like, okay, well, you know, they dominated them, but they didn't cover that 16.5. They covered this number, but it is worth noting that this number, I think, is just a little bit out of confidence range for your boy here. I like Milwaukee to win this game. I like them to probably control the game, but 9.5 is probably a little bit too much, so it's going to most likely stay as a lean. In terms of a total, talk about another lean. This Milwaukee team is tough to take unders against. Same with San Antonio, because that defense is so poor, but 249.5, I don't see this game getting up and over. But you probably won't catch me red-handed making that a final play, because we don't want to get burned by all the reasons could point to an over here. Milwaukee 4-0 on over-unders in terms of to the over in back-to-back. San Antonio's defense is hot garbage. San Antonio's, cashed plenty of overs this year, but they have hit 3 unders in their last 4 games here, and Milwaukee has hit 2 unders in their last 3. So both these teams trending in an under direction, which makes me a little bit more comfortable with it. But like I said, all signs really point to an over. So we could be looking at this upside down, in my opinion. But nonetheless, I'm sticking to what I'm seeing, and I'm considering that under, but I don't necessarily think that becomes and ultimately, be a final play. Now, we do have a couple player props we like in this spot. One of them one of them's crazy. I don't mind Giannis under 34.5 points. He's hit the under here. Now, again, Spurs, bad defense. We get that. That's why this number could be where it is. This number dropped from last night, but he's hit the under here in 70% of games on the season. Against the Spurs, last time they played, he had 11 points. Now, I would say that is an anomaly. He only shot the ball 12 times, but I could see that being similar. He played 30 plus minutes. I could see that being similar here. Like, do the Bucks need Giannis to win the game? Like, I don't think the Bucks are thinking about the 9-point spread, right? They're thinking about winning this game. Does Giannis think that he needs to be the guy that goes out there and just dominates, the Spurs? Most likely not. Like, I don't necessarily think that they're going to rely on him. Now, it's Giannis. That's why I'm saying it's a weird one. But you are getting it for plus money on DraftKings and, minus money everywhere else. So if you can jump on DraftKings, expected value there ain't all that bad. But again, it's a lean right now because do you bet against Giannis? That seems like it could be a psychopath move, right? So we'll see where the cards shake out there. But again, I don't mind Giannis under 34.5 points. Listen, he could have a good game, 32, 12, and 10. It's like, wow, Giannis, good game, 35 points. No. So I got to see how big the cojones are if we're going to be betting on Giannis's unders. But again, bad night last night in terms of points, right? Does he bounce back today? We'll see. I just don't think that they're going to need him to score. In terms of guys that are needed, I'm also looking at the star on the other team here, but we're looking at the over 27.5 points plus rebounds for Victor Wembanyama. He's hit this in 62% of games this season here. In his last 10, he's hit it in 7, and he finished on 27, so right on the hook last game against Memphis in 26 minutes of play. Now, he's been minutes restricted for a while, right, playing 20 to 25 minutes. If we see any news of that not being lifted or, there's kind of hush-hush about the minutes he's playing, maybe we don't roll with this, but I do think that, like, if the Spurs want any chance of being even within 10 points of this game, Wembanyama's going to have to compete here. And this is a Bucks team that, is good defensively when it comes to guarding the big men, but not necessarily all game long. Like, they'll block shots, they'll make it tough down low with obviously Giannis and Brook Lopez, but in terms of being able to cover a center for, the entire length of the floor, like when Wembanyama can play, that isn't where they succeed. So, the Bucks defense isn't what it used to be. Brook Lopez, great shot blocker, not the best when it comes to a guy that's way longer and taller than him either, because he doesn't get up there to block those shots. So, Wembanyama, I don't like his spot here I don't mind his spot for over 27.5 points plus rebounds, but keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if anything makes its way into the final plays. Like I said, this isn't my favorite game out of the two tonight. All right, guys, before we get to the second game, I want to talk to you about OddsJam. If you don't know what OddsJam is, you need to go try it out. You can try it for 7 days free and get 25% off your first month with code GUYBOSTON. They have tons of tools on the site that can help sports bettors like you and me capitalize and win, right? But the thing I want to focus on here is literally guaranteed winnings, guaranteed profits. This is their arbitrage screen, which if you don't know what arbitrage betting is, simply put, it's taking multiple sportsbooks into account and betting the same bet, only both sides. So over, under, or, win, loss on both books, or on, win on one, lose on the other. And no matter what the outcome of the game is, you end up profiting. So we can use, we'll just pick any of these, for example, or use this first one. 2% profit margin there. Damian Lillard over 3.5 threes. So on Hot Streak, you can get it at minus 105. FanDuel, you get it at plus 114. If you put, $50 over on Hot Streak and 45.62 over on FanDuel, you'd have a risk-free profit of $2. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, why would I do all that for $2? It literally is a money tree, right? Like, there's no chance that this loses. Damian Lillard either hits more than 3.5 threes or less than 3.5 threes, guys. Another one right here, Jacksonville against Tennessee, right? We can hop on this because these lines probably won't be like that by game time. Over on ESPN Bet, Jacksonville first half points, the over 160 on ESPN, minus 150 on Fanatics. If you want to put 50 on Fanatics, you could put 32.05 over on ESPN Bet, guaranteed profit of 128. Now, I'm just using reasonable numbers, right? But if you wanted to go and put, okay, well, let's put 500 on there. That's a guaranteed profit of $13. Say you hit that 10 times a day. Boom, an extra $100+ per day. These things are popping up. OddsJam makes it super, super simple, guys. So go ahead and try it out. Again, that link is in the pinned comment. Use code GUYBOSTON. Get 7 days free. You could try this for 7 days and get 25% off your first month with a sign up there. An amazing tool. Like, I don't know how we can explain risk-free profit any better than just saying it literally is money. Now, you might be, again, saying that's a lot of work for not that much. Fine. but think about the scalability here. There's no risk, there's no loss. So go check out OddsJam, guys. Again, that link in the pinned comment. And again, that's one of the many tools they have. If you don't want to be an arbitrage bettor, they got the positive EV screen. They got the sportsbook screen to compare all odds across the industry. They have the fantasy optimizer for PrizePicks. They got tons of stuff over there. You'll find something you like. All right, next up, we have the Warriors taking on the Nuggets. And I think that this is truly the game of the night here. Obviously, I don't think you can compete with this when you're looking at a Spurs game. But Warriors... underdogs at home here, which obviously the Warriors have been decent at home this year when you compare them, at home versus on the road. They're 10-8 straight up, but against the spread, it's not as clear of a picture. 7-11 against the spread when at home. But on the other hand, the Nuggets also 7-11 when they are on the road. So this one is, I mean, even obviously the books agree this is going to be a close game, but I don't mind looking at Denver in this spot. They are the better team, and it might be the square pick. It might be the side that everyone is on. But Denver, again, just is the better team. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They've won 7 of their last 9, and they've covered in 4 of their last, or they've covered in 5 of their last 8 as well. So they're playing decent basketball, and I think at this point, until I'm really sold by Golden State, I do think that decent can kind of get the job done, because Golden State has been all over the place. Now, we took them against Orlando a couple nights ago, right? That cashed. Good for us. But before that, they'd lost 3 straight games, 2 of those at home against Miami and Dallas. It's not like they're playing nobodies, but they're not playing world-beating teams either. Maybe this game can sway my opinion on Golden State moving forward, but as of right now, I just have to back the better team in this spot. And the total is sitting at 234.5 right now. That one I don't really have the best of reads on. I think I would lean slightly towards the under, because I think if Denver wins this game, they kind of slow it down. We saw these guys play on Christmas, right? And this game came to 234. Denver won 120 to 114. So I'd see that being a similar type of a game here. And the Warriors looked pretty good for most parts of that game as well, right? So it's kind of like, okay, well, they looked good and still lost by 6 points. What are we doing? What are we doing with a 3-point spread? Could it smell like a trap? Maybe. But again, give me Denver minus the points, as well as a slight lean towards the under. Now, a player prop that I don't mind in this spot is actually going to be a guy that really doesn't get the volume in Denver. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope over 9.5 points, but it is a plus 100 play over on FanDuel right now. Like that Giannis pick we gave, all of the other books are in the minus odds here, so I like the value there. But again, the volume may not be there, but when you look at him against Golden State, he's hit in 4 of his last 5 games. He's hit it in 2 games this year, so 2 for 2. He had 10 points and 16 points on Christmas. I like the fact that he may be taking more threes, so he's a math 3-point shooter, right? On the season, shooting 42%. But that comes and goes with, he'll have hot nights, and he'll have nights where he takes 4 and makes 0. So he's not like a consistent 40%, because if he was, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope would be a hell of a different player. But he's a guy that'll go from 50 to 30 on any given night, meaning we're looking at a 40%, right? But Golden State here makes it easy on shooting guard. They're allowing the second most 3-pointers made in the entire league over the last 7 games. And then points to shooting guards here, they're allowing the 5th most points to shooting guards. So I like Pope's chances to have that volume, even though he doesn't always get it. They are, fully healthy here with their starting lineup of Murray, Pope, Porter, Gordon, and Jokic. So again, the volume could be my concern, but I like all of the Warriors' attention on all of those other guys. Get me Pope in the corner a couple times for a couple tray balls, okay? In terms of other player props here, Chris Paul's unders kind of stick out to me as well. I don't think that this is a game where he necessarily goes off, and obviously with him playing, or getting the start and playing, I guess you could say, 30 plus minutes guaranteed, because he was playing that earlier in the year, but he bumped down to 25, then back up to 30. I think with this starting role, he's going to be playing 30 plus minutes. Now, what I would say here is this is a Nuggets team that covers point guards fairly well, good perimeter defense, right? And you have inflated lines from Chris Paul now that he is starting. So I'm going to look at his under 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I'd also look at his under for his points, but the problem is his points line is at 10.5. That's just a couple mid-range jumpers, right? So I like Chris Paul unders today. Not exactly sure how we want to split it up. It could be points, rebounds, could be rebounds, assists, but honestly, PRA might just be the end-all, be-all for us. So keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what we ultimately end up rolling with there, guys. And yeah, quick video today. Let me know if you guys made it to the end of the video by dropping a 14 in the comments, 1-4. And yeah, that's all we have for you guys. Hopefully you guys do enjoy, and I appreciate the ones that keep tuning back even after a cold streak here, because if you've been rocking with me long enough, you know that the cold streak ends. We're profitable on the year, blah, blah, blah. I could try and sell you a million different ways, right? That's not what we do here. We own our losses. We get happy about our wins. We're putting on, you know, a show each and every day, regardless of the outcome. So, I could sit here and tell you, just wait, keep that energy, we'll be profitable. We will, but that's not the selling point. The selling point is that we're going to show up and put on a good show and have a good time every single day, win or loss, because that's what sports betting is. But we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.